Hi everyone, and welcome to Big Break. Wait, what? What's that music? Ah! So you can guess what we're talking about today.
Melody, not music.
Oh shit. Oh well, you guess I don't know the reference properly. No problem.
Okay.
I tried. It didn't work. Listen, sometimes the thing that makes innovation entertaining is when it absolutely fails to hit the mark altogether, and then one person looks like they have a sub 85 IQ. So I guess it's basically like how Sigma was put together fundamentally. Same type of situation. Which is, I guess, good that we're going to discuss him in this right.
By the way,
Yay.
Jazz is back.
Yes!
Hi. No
Hi,
one
Jazz.
missed
How
me,
are
but
you?
hi.
Oh, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm actually surprised I didn't miss as many episodes as I thought, because I was thinking to myself, like, oh man, 2 months, I'm gonna be gone for fucking ever, and like everything will change, and nothing has.
Well,
like,
actually,
I missed maybe 2 episodes of here, and I missed nothing Overwatch wise. It's literally the exact same.
That's true. The game literally hasn't changed.
Well, I
We
mean,
had a shitty
no.
summer game.
one of the biggest
That's it.
reasons for that, though, is because every time we would try and do something, we would get together and then be like, okay, how are we going to organize this? And then we'd look at each other and we'd be like, okay, we don't have Jazz. There's no way we can do this.
Yeah. That's what it came
We
down
don't
to,
have
like,
the
every
note.
single time.
Like, literally every single
Yeah,
time.
oh man, the last few episodes have been hilarious to watch, just like to listen, because like you'd start off on a topic and then just like it just goes off on a huge tangent, and it's like, oh, it's so funny. It was so funny.
And it's like Ian isn't particularly great at that and like preventing that because he just wants to like talk about all the concept stuff. And so
Yeah, he just wants to talk about all the things.
So we always just end up talking out our asses for like an hour and a half.
Well, it's fun. It's very good fun.
It's very fun.
Good that we have Jazz back here. Maybe she'll keep us stable this time. We won't end up...
Maybe, hopefully.
Maybe.
We'll
I
never
don't
be
know.
the United States government.
Oh god.
Anyway, this is not what this is about today. By the way, video games don't cause shootings. Shut the fuck up. You're full of shit. All the research indicates otherwise, and this conservative dogmatism is poisonous and cancerous, and the right needs to atone for it. Because they've been doing it since the 90s, and they did it with
The
Dungeons and
90s?
Dragons. Oh yeah, don't you... I mean, I wasn't alive, but I remember reading about this. You know, like Magic
No, but it was
Gathering,
before the
Satanic.
90s.
Oh yeah.
it's true. It was in the
No.
80s
This
and
was
the
with
70s
this was
too,
with
wasn't
yeah, no, you're right about Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm the
'cause I
American
just watched.
here.
I literally just before this video, before this video chat, I literally just watched a documentary all about D&D and its history
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and about how like it was really underground and like basically you have to go in the basement with all your friends and you basically have to keep it like a secret. It was like a coven because of how much parents hated it.
Pretty
That's
much,
dark.
Because
yeah.
it thought yeah. Anyway, look at us. Look at us. We're already going on a tangent. Oh my god.
Save us, please.
Oh no. Anyway.
You're the one in
But
control
anyway, yeah.
here. What are we talking about
Yeah,
today? What's going on in Overwatch? I have no idea. I'm in my bathtub. I'm naked. I'm wasted. It's like, like 9 in the morning. Let's do it.
Oh my
Okay.
None of those things
alright.
are true, by the way. None of those things are true. I'm not drunk. I'm not naked. I'm not in my bathtub, and I'm not wasted. And it's not 9 a.m.
Oh
so.
damn. I was about to say you're living life, man. You're living the life I want.
Yeah, I'm living that Keisha life. Like wake up and continue.
Okay, so I was thinking maybe lightning round discussion on the hero changes, hero balances. So like stuff like Symmetra, Brig, mini rework, and stuff like that. Then we get into role queue itself, because I thought that was a nice like little tie-in. Because I think everything has been said about role queue has been said, and there's nothing that we can do about it. So we'll just discuss it really quickly, and then we'll get into the meat of the situation, which is Sigma.
The meat and potatoes.
Yes.
Our favorite
big
crazy
boy.
person. Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's me.
Wait your turn. Wait your turn.
We're gonna do a compare and contrast of Sigma after. We'll show how similar he is to Astro. For one, they're both delusional about a lot of things.
It'll be our closing thing. Our closing skit.
Excellent. So,
Okay.
lightning round. Let's do this.
Okay, lightning round. I think the hero that probably would be the most interesting to talk about is Brigitte first.
Oh, Brig, my
Had
queen.
a lot of changes.
Oh yes, she did.
Ooh.
Is she even
I got the-
recognizable at this point? Yes, she is, but
Yeah.
she's very, very different, and her playstyle has been altered dramatically. Now, what do you think, Jazz?
I think I like the repair pack because my problem with Brigitte has always been that she does not heal enough. And the thing is, like, I could never really suggest a way to boost up her healing because of goats. So I like the repair pack. I like whip shot, but I think, do you know the way they barrier shield and her inspire? So like her passive, her self healing.
Yeah.
I think that was a little too harsh. I think they should have done, if they were done either or rather than both, because I think it leaves Brigitte in a very similar spot to Symmetra, who was first reworked, and kind of Reaper now, which is like she's a close combat hero, and to a certain extent Sigma, we'll get to that. That she's a close combat hero, but like has no ability to like sustain herself or like really be in situations where she can get up close and personal. And I think that kind of ruins the concept, because that's the whole point. But overall,
I think that like you make a very good point here. You're definitely right.
Like I think her whip shot and repair pack are big enough changes and big enough positive changes that I think it'll be fine. But it just puts her in a very weird place of like she's meant to be here, but like you're asking like, because she's so squishy now to a certain extent that like you don't really know where to put yourself.
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean, I would basically say that I think that probably 3 health packs is probably a bit much. I would have preferred 2, but had them like retain the same amount of healing.
Oh yeah, because its healing amount has changed from 150 to 20. 120.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, it's no longer instant, which is the big important takeaway from this, is that, okay, like everything else in isolation, like, it not being instant, it doesn't matter how many she has. You can fire 12 repair packs at someone, burst damage is still going to kill them now, so you cannot save your teammates anymore. So you'd have to, you'd have to have your Inspire effect, and the repair pack, and Rally, and a Lucio healing aura to save someone from, like, non-instant death that's really high DPS. Like,
and you can't do that anymore because of the 2.
Yeah. Well, you could play Lucio Brig. It was just that you would have bad heals, like or like okay heals. You
do not want to like Frog Boy. I'm kind of worried about. We'll get to it when we get to it. But like Frog Boy, I'm a little worried about. Brigitte, I'm still a little worried about because I just don't think. Like I said, I just don't know really how they expect her to be close combat, but like take everything away that makes her good at being close combat.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like, her whole thing is that she's supposed to be a durable support, and now she has, now she has a barrier that gets shit on by a Junkrat basically existing. So...
Well, wait. She's still a durable support. She's still durable support. She's just not... She's comparatively durable, but not durable at all.
Like, no.
200 plus shield is, like, literally, like...
To be fair, though, Moira is more durable than her now.
This is true. Moira is more durable. Moira's excellent self-heal and ability to escape any situation makes her allowed to be out of position to try to get kills that she's not supposed to get, whereas Brig now has to play exceedingly conservatively in order to even get value from her kit.
Wow.
I think something we're going to see, especially at the...
That's literally the opposite of what her kit is supposed to be.
Yeah, evidently.
Hold on, I just posted in because I remember doing this when I heard about the Brigitte nerf to the shield, and I actually did some math. You'll be proud of me, Zeke. You'll be really proud. I did some math, and I fought like a few heroes. I didn't do all of them, but like here's like a few heroes. You'll see it in the chat.
Yeah.
Just like an example of like how many shots it takes to destroy that barrier. It's not a lot.
No, it's really not.
Oh my god, look at that. Holy shit.
That's really funny.
Oh my god.
Really
funny. To be honest,
Bastion 0.02 seconds of shooting.
Congratulations, Bastion just has to look at her.
1/200 second of shooting. Oh my god.
Shields down, like it's over. Like Bye, Brig. Like, nice try. With your 200 health and your 50 nerfed armor that only reduces damage by 3 points per shot. Which, by the way, now that change is totally irrelevant, even though they're not going to revert it. Like,
I'm actually wondering. I'm very curious about if they are going to revert some of the things that they've
No, they
implemented too.
Eventually,
You
I
don't
think
think
they
so?
will.
No, I don't.
Eventually,
I think they will too.
Blizzard is
think-
very
I
resistant
think-
to do that. They like to go forward, even if going backward would be better.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not. But the way they do it is that they'll like keep it for a long enough time that once they change it, it seems like they're going forward because no one remembers when they did it the first time. That's literally what they
reverse
do.
psychology.
It's literally what they do.
Like Mercy's Valk healing.
Yeah, literally exactly what they do.
I'm so shocked that Mercy did not get at least a little buff.
Yeah,
like,
I am as well.
in my
Yeah.
I for sure thought she would go to
here's
60
the thing.
FPS.
Here's the thing. Rework Mercy to the side. From a business standpoint, like if I were the three Jeffs in I would be think to myself, well, we want 2-2-2 because we kind of want the game to be easier balance on our side. We want damage dealers to come back, to make a comeback, you know what I mean? Because they have been gone for a very long time. Like some of these heroes I haven't seen in fucking like a year. Straight up a year. So you would think to yourself, well, what's the main healer who does really great chemistry with literally every single damage healer in hero in the game?
Yeah.
Mercy.
Mercy, yeah.
So you would think, yeah, let's give her a wee bit of a buff. Like it's not like drastic or anything, but like something.
Hashtag 60 HPS.
But everyone's like so freaked out. It's like, oh my god, her damage boost is so good. I'm like, okay, well that's fine. Then reduce the damage boost a bit and increase her
But
healing.
no, literally don't do that. When she's damage boosting, she's literally not healing anyone.
Yeah, don't do that. What are you doing?
No,
her damage boost is literally the only good thing about her now. Don't do
please,
this. Her
don't
damage
do
boost and
this.
super jump. Don't do this.
But then increase her healing. That's like what I'm saying. It's like
Okay, well maybe if you reduce damage boost 25%. Maybe.
that's what I'm
But then
thinking.
again,
Yeah.
Like that's not even like you'd have to change her kit dramatically. Like you'd have to like I don't know. You'd have to make her healing amp up to like 90 HPS or something. Like after a long enough time. Like if you're gonna like fucking like, because the thing is that 5% off of her multiplier is significantly less valuable. Rather, it's more valuable for her than the 5% off of Zenyatta's Discord orb, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I can't remember if we sorted this out, but I can't remember who it was, but the Zenyatta main actually told us that we thought it was just switching power structures with the Zenyatta orb, but it was actually a nerf. Does anyone remember that conversation?
Yeah. I
have no
believe
idea
that
what
was
you're talking about.
Caliber.
I think I can't remember. It's too far to scroll. I'm so sorry, person that I'm referencing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want
Caliber didn't
like
talk about Zenyatta, did he?
No, he did.
Okay, I can't remember that. Yeah, all they did was shift the power, but it did end up being a nerf because it's not a nerf to Zenyatta though. It's a nerf to his ability to, like, make people disappear by pressing one button. Which is like his damage went up by 2 points to compensate for it, which I think is totally fine. And I think that was probably a necessary change because Discord Orb was too powerful anyway. But now Zen, like in all of this, is really fucked. Like the only time you're gonna play Zen is like, I don't know, like if you're playing a really aggressive team comp that doesn't, like OG dive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heroes who are going to need some pretty serious balance changes to work in this 2-2-2.
Yeah.
I think
far,
like
the support category is fine. Except
yeah,
for
I
Zen.
think Lucio is also like in a bit of a pickle because like you have to remember that like in goats Lucio only brought speed.
Yeah.
But now that like we're in a situation where goats isn't a thing, so now we have a slow frog that doesn't really heal all that well.
That's true, with a very
You know what I
small
mean?
area of effect.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm very worried about the frog in that terms of in that way because like it kind of doesn't like when I think about it, he doesn't really have that much of a place. Same with Zenyatta. Like when I sit down and think about these two heroes, I'm like, I don't know what. It's exactly like Brig. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with these heroes anymore.
No, yeah. That's definitely going to be one thing that they're going to have to work out.
Well, Brig will be fine, I think. It'll just take a little while for them to figure out what direction they want her to take.
They're going to need to give her a few buffs, but I think overall she'll be alright.
Yeah, she's in a good direction now. She'll function sort of as like a brawler slash main healer, someone to protect your Ana. And I think she'll work very well with Lucio because, you know, you can still, because Mei is literally overpowered and game breaking right now, you can still sort of assemble a GOATS comp with her, Lucio, Brig, and then, I don't know, maybe some, like, assuming the enemy team doesn't have any, you know, like, if the enemy team has to attack a point and you can hide behind, you know, structures, you could probably play some brawler comp with Reaper Mei and Brig Lucio and, like, you know, like Ryan Zarya, maybe, and do something dirty with that. But no, I think that you're probably right. Lucio, I don't know, like, his healing will probably have to be adjusted slightly. Maybe just the amped healing. I think that maybe, like, buffing Amp It Up would be, like, a very aggressive and dangerous maneuver. But I think that it would be really funny if, you know, like, amping it up healed, like, a full health bar for a soldier.
That would be fantastic.
It's just him. It's just him. No. Lucio just heals soldier. That's it.
Oh, that's what he does? Yeah. He's a bard only for gay.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
It's like club music.
Oh, God.
He only heals the gay heroes in Overwatch. That's it.
Yeah, we thought that these straight characters were getting too much value out of Lucio's healing, so we thought that we would take it down a notch.
Oh my God.
That's a part of our equity design, equity-friendly design philosophy.
That's wow.
Anyway.
Moving on.
Kind of our. That's actually great because we just got 3 of my most worried heroes, if that makes sense.
Yes,
like the
yes.
heroes I worry about already done. Doomfist.
Baptiste is going to be strong.
Oh
Doomfist?
yeah.
He's going to be so
Baptiste is
strong.
going to be really good, yeah.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, he is.
All the main healers are in a really good position now, except for Mercy's in a good position, but like she just like requires like it's a difficult situation. You have to play her in a dive comp. I think she'll work really well with Lucio. We know she works well with Bap. We know that she's really, really good when you're trying to like sit in a corner with the 0.06% of the time that Bastion is picked when you're playing Bastion. You know.
Yeah, I think you know, as Zavi said in the last video, I think like yeah, Mercy's balance is generally all right. We just have to deal with the other shit now. But yeah. So what were you gonna say, Jazz?
I was just about to move on the conversation. Like, it's good that we got Baptiste out of the way because, like, I do think he's going to be like he's going to shoot up. Like, I know he's had a rough start, but I think he's going to fly up as like one of the popular.
Oh yeah, no, he's a very good healer.
I think he's going to be G. So I think I'm going to lump these 2 heroes together because they have very minimal changes. Doomfist and Hanzo. Doomfist had a melee change. No longer pauses ammo reload, which is like a huge bug that was been fucking annoying me for so long.
Doomfist bugged?
Never. No, but it's just like his ammo. Like I get like hitboxes and stuff like that, but like his
it's more than hitboxes.
ammo. It's ammo, man.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Yeah.
The most. It was
so
just 2 years. It's been 2 years.
It's about time they dealt with that bullshit.
There's a lot of bullshit.
Storm arrows ammo reduced from 6 to 5.
I don't think that this is enough, and I know that's going to make a lot of people angry, but I think it could literally be 4, and it would still be really strong.
Well, either that or they could reduce the damage.
No. Or you disable headshots and you make it have different damage properties. But like, it's such a weird ability, right? Like, it'll always have, and I think the headshots are nice because it gives you the opportunity to really like melt people if you have like, you know.
I'm so sorry. See, I actually thought you meant like disable like Hanzo's like entirely, just like get rid of hitbox. I was like, perfect, the perfect way.
The best way. No, I really like Hanzo. I think that I like the dude. He's a He's a terrible person. I know that I said hashtag delete Hanzo at some point in a few episodes ago, and I went on a huge rant about that. But it was me just being, speaking in jest. He's a good character. I like what he offers. His ultimate is excellent at zoning. It's a very good finisher with Graviton. It can be used to absolutely punish people pushing through narrow corridors. It's hilarious. It can be eaten and interacted with, deflected, etc.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's super overpowered. It's a very fair ultimate, I would say. And it also charges quickly if you're good. So he has probably a really, really good. He has a great kit. Without Storm Arrow, he's still playable. With Storm Arrow, he's really, 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 really strong against tanks, and there's nothing he's not strong against.
He's just good. He's just better Junkrat, really.
Yeah, he's better Junkrat in a lot of ways.
His ultimate. You keep going. You're doing great. You're doing great, sweetie.
No, his ultimate. I mean, the thing about Junkrat's ultimate is that so it better be a damn value kill. Whereas with Hanzo's ult, even if you don't get a kill with it, you're forcing a different engagement style and you ult, right? Sure, you can interact with it, but you're gonna shoot it into a wall and use that to protect it. Hanzo is a really nuanced character, and he has the dash as well. He's got a lot of things in his kit that give him a lot of utility that Junkrat just doesn't have. So I would say that you're right, that he's just a better Junkrat. And I think that it's all in Storm Arrow that makes the difference here, which is why hashtag Storm Arrow to 4.
Okay.
The thing is, this will be a similar problem that I have with Diva when we event. I think she's in here somewhere. When we get to Diva, which is, I'm worried that, when you start nerfing what look to be the most powerful part of their, and then you're actually dwindling their effects, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you just said that he has a very quick ult charge, which I agree. But the thing is, you have to keep in mind that A, there was a huge nerf to all of the heroes in terms of ultimates.
Yes.
And B, Storm Arrow is his main kind of charger. So
yes.
Each arrow is getting a lot of ult. So dropping it to 4, I'm worried that that'll suddenly drop his ult charge to even lower. So then you're just constantly taking away, without realizing, you're taking away piece by piece by piece, making him one part of his, thinking that you're fixing one part of his kit, but making another part worse, and then it just snowballs.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a solution to this, right? So if you do reduce it to 4 arrows, raise the fire rate of the arrows so you can fire all 4 in 1 second. So you get even more of the "you are instantly dead" effect. But, because now it's 0.33 seconds per shot, right? Which is reasonable, but I think that Hanzo mains would be happy to be able to kill things faster with their good aim, right? 4 shots is still, every tank in the game is dead except for Roadhog and Wrecking Ball, right? If you get all headshots.
Yeah.
And, it would make...
That is correct.
Even at this level, the difference in ult charge is between 280 and 350, and 280 is about 9% ult charge after the patch. So... I don't think that that's that much of a nerf, a headshot is still going to be, 7.5% in general. So I'm not too concerned. And if you get headshots with Storm Arrows, forget about it. You're still going to get the great value out of it. And also, increasing the speed that they would be fired, I think would give him a lot of opportunities to be able to surprisingly burst people down in a way that is equally as frustrating as scatter, but also significantly more difficult to do. Because, if the shots fire faster, you have to be more precise on your aim.
That is fair. That is fair enough. That would just be my only concern.
Yeah, it's a very logical concern. But I think that especially because Hanzo is usually ran with the problem. They do so much together. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, true. Astro, do you have anything to say? You're a bit quiet.
About Hanzo?
Yeah.
Other than I'm gonna really enjoy hitting him with a giant rock. Well, I don't know. I think the thing I always say about that fucker is that they really should reduce the damage per normal arrow. And maybe increase the headshot multiplier like they did with Widow, but I don't know. That's really all I probably have to say.
That's a really dramatic change. I used to be an advocate for that. I think I still am. It would just like make Hanzo not do anything if he's not getting headshots. However,
I mean, if you put it to 100 damage per arrow,
100
that's
and then a 2.5x headshot. That would actually be good because it would make him less good at destroying barriers than Junkrat. And so maybe you could like do a similar thing to Storm Arrow and also have it have 2.5x. And that would make him like very not good at destroying barriers. Then you could even give him 6 Storm Arrows if you'd want to.
yeah. I don't know. That's just sort of my thoughts. I genuinely despise Hanzo. I don't want him to be bad though. So it's just like I have to think to myself, okay, how do I make him not a pain in my ass without making him garbage?
That's fair. We all okay, let's all admit we all have one hero that we just don't like, and I think that is across the board.
I
don't
more
think
than
anyone
one.
can say. I'm just saying, like, in general, everyone always has one.
Yeah.
This is true.
Okay.
Doomfist.
So we're gonna talk about. Okay, Doomfist. I was just about to say we were going to, because like the Doomfist one isn't that big of a deal because it's just like a change.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying,
changes.
it's more the issue of like Doomfist in general, like.
Oh, I think he needs an episode, man. Like I said, we're supposed to be lightning quick.
Yeah, that's true. Doomfist does need an episode.
Yeah, okay. Later, we'll
Yeah,
talk
he
about
just straight up
Doomfist
needs an
later in this
episode.
Oh,
We
we'll have
promise. We
we'll have a pro on. How
freaky
about
swear. Exactly.
We'll find someone. Good.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the hero that actually broke my heart, Mora.
Huh?
Moira.
Oh, and her. Okay, so everyone who has been with BB for a while knows that I fucking hate CC. I just want more anti. And then while I was gone, Blizzard gave us a new anti-CC. And then the second I came back, they took it away. And honestly, it just makes me want to cry.
To be fair, it was ridiculous. Already, Moira can't be punished for being a dumbass, and that just made it even worse. So,
Yeah.
I know that you hate CC.
But like,
I
there's
know.
better ways to deal with it than just to make an ability that makes you immune to it.
I know.
Just
At
get,
that
it's just
Hey,
a get
look,
out of
listen,
jail free
Orisa can
card.
do it.
At that point, why not just have her, like, when she fades through someone, they take a bunch of damage and then she vampirizes it? Like, if you're gonna make her be immune to CC, like, come on, like, may as well go over there. Like,
I know. But guys, I'm so sick of being stunned.
hey, it's gonna be
I
less
just-
prevalent.
Some ways, yeah.
It better be.
You're only
It
gonna need
better
to run
be.
stun against things that, dive into your backline.
Or unless
see,
you're just like
here's
me
the
and you just
thing.
like to stun things.
Oh.
I just like characters that have CC because it makes me laugh. So.
It's just like, oh. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it for too long. But here's the thing. Moira is clearly in a very big, like, okay, not a big problem. She's like, okay, she's a bit niche.
She needs the
I don't think she's
barrier thing
I
reverted,
don't think.
and she needs some sort of utility, but that's it.
Here's what I was thinking, because like I was already planning like exactly what I was going to change, because I realized that the stun thing was a bit too strong, but I was going to keep it, and I was going to come on and be like, hey guys, here's like a way that like Blizzard can have the stun but make her a 2-star hero that she's supposed to be.
Okay.
That is, I haven't thought about it too much. Do keep in mind that this was an idea that I just randomly had in the middle of the night. Okay.
Okay.
That like instead of, do you know the way Biotic Grasp has the healing version has a
Residual?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Has
no.
have it for both, but have the orbs, change the orbs a little, so they also collect like they fill up the bar. So basically 2 bars.
Could do that, yeah.
2 bars.
What do you mean? Like a damage bar and a healing bar?
Well, no, it's like she's saying that the damage orb fills the resource meter.
Yeah, so like you have the 2 bars on both, one for healing, one for damage. So when you heal, your damage bar goes up. When you damage, your healing bar goes up. So you're taking advantage of like her resources.
Yeah.
But also with the buff of her orbs, also collect. They also fill up. at like maybe a faster rate. So like maybe like 50%. Fuck it, let's just say 50. So if she heals someone with her healing orb, that's like basically her entire like her bar fills up really quickly. If she throws out a damage, her healing goes up really quickly. That way you're keeping this kind of like resource management constantly with Mora. It's more fun. It keeps her at it actually brings her up to 2-star, which I just don't think is what's happening. You then keep the stun thing because then she has a mega escape, but she's not like a get out part because now you have to take care of her. So you can't like for like 5 minutes like suck the life out of like that poor Genji circus delaying around the payload. You know what I mean? So you have to like be really careful about how you are healing and how you are damaging at the same time. If that makes
That's
sense.
like
I don't
pretty
think
crazy.
I feel like
I know it's a crazy change.
That's
I feel like-
I know it is.
I feel like you could do that, or you could just like make her heal through barriers and give her damage utility.
I think that like if you make her be able to heal through barriers, like she won't need any other utility. Her utility is being able to kill people with an orb from across the map when they're trying to escape to their healers. Like,
Sure, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like people moan about that as well.
yeah, but they can shut the fuck up. That's how the hero's designed.
That is very true, yeah.
It's like,
You
oh
see,
no,
what I'm worried about.
Doomfist
What I'm worried
one-shot
about
me.
is that like
Oh no. I
Oh
was
no,
out of
Bastion
position.
killed me because I walked out into his line of fire.
Yeah, exactly.
For some reason, I'm a DPS player and I can't swap to Sombra, who literally takes 15 minutes to understand how to play, to hack him, and then end his life.
So you just shit on him.
All these people are Robin and I'm Batman, and I'm backhanding these motherfuckers till they learn. That's discipline.
Very good, Zek. Yes, teach them all.
Next!
Next.
next is. Okay, this is a really shitty kind of thing. It's literally nothing. It's Orisa. Cooldown increased from 8 to 9
8 to 9 seconds.
Protective barrier. It's literally nothing.
It's going.
Wait, don't say that. Don't say that it's literally nothing. I think that it's almost enough.
It's gonna be fine. I think. Yeah, I think it's gonna make a difference, but it's not gonna like make her bad.
Yeah. She's still gonna be the
No, but
strongest
I'm
tank for a lot of reasons, but...
No, but what I'm saying is that like it literally doesn't really change anything with how you play her, to be honest, because you still have that like problem. Like this is just going to be a problem with Orisa. Just I think for her entire existence, where you have those Orisa wars.
Nah,
You know,
I love those.
where
Yeah.
you'll see another Orisa. You both plunk down your protective barrier, and you just shoot.
I love
that's- and
those. I
That's the
love
point of that,
those.
though. Like, that character exists for this reason, to have those barrier battles. That's what she's good at. She's really, really good at supporting bunker.
That's why
It's
I
just
love
really
Orisa.
funny.
You just get these funny as fuck like wars of attrition.
You know, it's so funny because like when I know myself when I see another Orisa, and even though I know I'm Orisa, I'm not going to like crash down that barrier faster than she can put it up.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna hit her. I'm still gonna try.
Absolutely, you're gonna try. No, pressuring the
I'm gonna
barriers is a
try.
good thing. Yeah, it's a good. It's good to pressure barriers.
Yeah, and especially you're not forgetting, like, well, you are forgetting that, like, usually you have at least one other person with you, and that's all it takes to turn the tide, right? Like, currently, like, if you have if it's you and Hanzo versus them and like Soldier, like, her barrier's down in less than like 4 seconds. Like, it's gone. Like,
Or if you're playing Bastion, it's gone in exactly 2. So
yeah, it's over. So like, I think that like, just because it'll make the 1v1, it won't change the 1v1. I mean, the Orisa 1v1, when the fuck is that happening? Like, come on, like, temporarily. And then, like, the rest of your team shows up, unless you're feeding. Which is like, please don't do that. Please,
Yeah.
just like, wait and spawn for your team, everybody in plat and below. Just stop.
Yep. Please stop.
Oh,
Please stop. Please stop.
Please stop.
do you know what? It's so funny when you see like in quick play and stuff like that, and you see like the lone Genji like going into like a 6 6, and it's like a mate. What are you doing?
Yuji no KO. Ah.
Yep.
Or how about Yuji no KO? Pah! No running. That's my favorite.
And
Like,
then
bye, Genji.
bang. It's just shit.
So tasty. But yeah, I was gonna say something about that, which is that like Orisa's vary from 8 to 9 seconds. It will mean because the average uptime of her shield is 7.5 seconds during team fights. So that means that there will be time for you to actually be able to damage the enemy team instead of them just be able to, like withdraw slightly, reposition, and put the shield back. They'll actually have to, like get out of there, which means that bunker will be crackable at least a little bit. I wouldn't say they should raise it to 10 seconds just yet. That would really hurt Orisa a lot.
Oh, no.
No.
So I don't think that should
You don't
be the
want her
case,
going
'cause-
back to where she was before.
No, absolutely
Can I
not.
just say, one thing that happened when I left for 2 months? Orisa suddenly became popular.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
It happened
just,
literally
I
right
blinked.
before you left.
But that's really the thing, right? Because like, what changed?
Astro, people realize that she's literally broken and can't die, even all the way into GM. Like, you cannot kill her. Like,
Unstoppable
she
little
is-
But for so long, everyone was just like, "Oh, she's so bad. What happened? What changed?"
Yeah,
But what happened? Like, so basically, because there was no patch notes that changed her.
no, it's just because she
There
was
were
always
several!
good. She was always good, and then, like, goats made it seem like she was unplayable, because it's true, she was unplayable against goats. But then people realized, oh, wait, like, this can literally just win team fights single-handedly, because Halt Hook can literally end a team fight by making one good pick, right?
Yes.
And then the fact that you also have Roadhog, who, like, you're going in that situation not for tankiness, but for very high damage. Which is why even at the Pro League they were playing Bastion on point 1 in Paris, right? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, one team was, but yeah.
I actually have to disagree with you there. That is one thing I do highly disagree. Push up glasses.
oh dear.
Actually, I actually don't think it wasn't the fact that like Orisa was always good. It's the it's like, you know the way I told you guys just there with Hanzo that like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
That, like really small changes can actually end up very very big in the long run.
Yeah.
So remember how me and Diego were always bitching about like how her particle cannon was never really that good? Do you know like
Yes.
the little
Her
little ball? I can't
fusion
remember
driver.
his name. There you go. Thank you.
Wait,
her
do you mean
fusion
Halt?
driver-
Or
Ugh.
Halt or
Halt,
fusion driver?
yes.
Halt, okay.
The halt. Thank you. Like I said, 2 months. It's been I'm out of practice. So with Halt, that like it's always been really buggy and like stuff like that. But then there was the wait, and then we suddenly said that it was good. And then you have Orisa suddenly picking up speed with our recent buff. And I think like those
And
small
then they buffed
changes.
the gun.
And then
Yeah.
they buffed the gun. I forgot about that as well. And it's
Yeah.
like these really small changes that really do make a difference. And it's just the fact that like all Orisa ever needed, to my amazement, is like a tiny little tweak. That's all she needed. And then that's it. She just went off. And now she's an indestructible little pony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's great though, and I think that I like her where she is, especially now in 222. She's going to be a formidable force, and that means that we're finally going to have to, like play characters on certain maps how it's supposed to be, right? Like and have to swap off on different points, and like Orisa's really, really strong in any situation where you have to try to attack a very small area because she can easily lock that down, move your team around, and like she's super easy to support too because of her enormous hitbox and her gigantic ass.
The one that always gets stuck in my face so I can't see.
Yeah.
Oh.
Playing Bastion, one of the many things
That
that you like to do to yourself.
That actually very smoothly brings us to Reinhardt, which is up next.
Reinhardt!
Oh yeah.
And the new passive.
Steadfast.
So nice.
Which literally
so happy about this.
What happened? Like, okay, do you know the way I left?
Yeah.
And then Orisa suddenly got popular, and then like I don't know, I think the Matrix glitched, and suddenly Reinhardt is never picked. What happened?
0.7% pick rate in GM.
What happened?
Because he's slow. He has to fucking walk around at 40% speed holding that barrier. Fuck that. Have Orisa, don't move, or play dive tanks. Like, there's no point. So,
and you can just get bullied.
yeah. One-shotted fucking booped, fucking stunned, you know, like uppercutted, like moved around.
Yeah.
It's almost like I said, CC's getting too much. Oh, who said that?
Yeah, we know that CC is terrible, which is kind of why I'm also happy that they reduced Briggs' shield bash time. Like, I think that's kind of shitty, but like, it's good. We need to stop having stuns. We need to stop having like great displacement effects.
I agree.
I mean, I think they're good to have. You just need to have counterplay to them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I have no problem with stun. Like, when Overwatch started, I had no problem with stuns, but it's the fact that like almost every single hero in the entire game has stuns. Has like 2 or more stuns.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Just more.
It's just the oversaturation.
There needs to be more counterplay and more like cleansing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you need to knock back that oversaturation, and you need to bring in more cleansing, because like, nah, fam. Because that's what happens to heroes like Reinhardt. Like, he just gets bullied, and then you have to put in like.
He will be bullied no longer, and that 30% is a very special number. There's a reason picked it. So, for example, in the Brig matchup, Brig whip-shotting, and I know because I tested this on my roommate's computer before he moved out, Brig whip-shotting Ryan doesn't push him out of his effective range anymore. So you can still just walk forward and kill her. So, like, you know, the master can kill the apprentice, as it should have always been.
Well, unless this is A New Hope.
Oh, jeez, please, none of that. But I think that, like, and also in other situations too, Pharah's concuss, Lucio's boop. It's a big number. It's a huge number, and it just makes him just get a little bit of boop. It's just a little knockback. It's not much now. You can really like eat these a lot of the time. Now, still, of course, you're still going to go flying into the well if you're out of position. Ilios point 2, but I guess that's not point 2. It's just Ilios well point.
Were you able to figure out how Wrecking Ball and Doomfist do against him now?
Wrecking Ball is relatively unchanged because, you know, like, he still does the damage, so it's irrelevant. Doomfist, on the other hand, well, let's say that you can't just bully the shit out of Reinhardt anymore, because I think, from what I could tell, it affected Slam a little bit, and it affected Uppercut a little bit, but it really, really affects Rocket Punch.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It looks almost like it's 30% not off of how far he travels, but off of how far he should travel, if you understand what I'm saying.
I think that is the idea, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's much more of a reduction on Rocket Punch. You're never hitting him against a wall anymore, which is for the best, I think.
I mean, I can. It's just, I'm gonna have to be careful.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to make sure that he's closer to the wall than before. I would say that,
I'm already careful, and I'm already dead.
Rocket Punch is half the distance away that you would normally Rocket Punch.
Yeah,
and I think that would make you land the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Because dividing by 0.7 is that weird 1.412 number, right? 1.421 number.
Yeah.
So that's the distance difference that you should use.
I believe you. I'll take your word for it.
Very well.
All right.
I don't play Ryan, so I have nothing to say.
I've been playing
because I love myself.
Like, I've been liking him a lot. Like, even now in his current state, like, it's nice to just like smack people.
Oh, it's very satisfying.
When you're being supported, like, it's like, oh.
It's very satisfying. I think he'll be a lot more fun to play now.
For sure.
Yeah. Moving on to Sombra. Hack duration reduced from 6 seconds to 5. Activation. Okay, EMP activation time increased from 0.5 seconds to 0.65 seconds.
Thank fucking God.
I'd just like to call something to attention. Less than 3 months ago, all of us were talking about ways to fix Sombra, and Astro ingeniously suggested having hack last less long and have less of a cooldown. So that way she would have less hack time on average, but be able to deploy it more frequently.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty good idea right about now. She's so oppressive.
So
there also just needs to be a way to cleanse the hack, but like.
Well, no, then that defeats the purpose of it. It's supposed to be the one-stop shop where you can't do shit.
Well, yeah, but what if like there's a singular ability in the game? It's like a important cooldown, but it's the only thing that can cleanse it.
Well, that would make that hero really good.
Well, yeah.
I've always suggested Zarya's bubble.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Zarya's bubble does enough though. Zarya's bubble makes the person not die for at least a second.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Zarya's bubble though is that it's too short of a cooldown to justify it being able to just not bother with hack. Like,
True. True.
Hey, on that Italian hero concept that I had, that character had a way to make everybody immune to hack and other similar effects for a short time. So, that could be an interesting...
that would be cool, yeah.
Wink, Blizzard, wink, wink, hire for, please.
And I mean, that way you could also just sort of, like, make Sombra good at things other than just making the game impossible to play, which would kind of be nice.
Yeah. And like, Sombra players are the ones that suffer the most out of this, right? Because a vast majority of Sombra players, like all people, are not good. They're in plat or below, which means that they're not able to use her to her full efficacy in the way that she's overpowered. So they just suffer now, because she's just going to get the mercy treatment, because she literally is ruining the game at higher ranks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Can I just pipe in as an actual Sombra player?
Yes, you're a Sombra main, aren't you?
Yeah, she's one of my DPS mains.
You told me that you were really upset when they gave her infinite stealth.
Yeah, I was. Simply because I think it's always been... I've always said, like, it's far too strong in higher tiers of play, because it's like in pro leagues. Like, you literally just see them just running around, not doing fucking anything. They're just running around.
That's what they do in low ranks, too. They just activate stuff and they walk around for a while.
But the thing is, they don't speak in comms. They don't speak. They don't talk.
Yeah, there's
you
no
know what I mean?
comms.
It's not...
Still comms.
It's far too powerful in higher ranks, and it's far too weak in lower ranks. So that's why I've always been on the side of, like, this was the worst decision Blizzard have ever made, and I will stick by it.
I also
revert Sombra.
I also just fucking hate that it's just like she's almost unpunishable. Like, it's just, she just has this get out of jail free card every 4 seconds, and I'm just like, oh my fuck. Like, what do I do?
Which was fine before. Like, the new translocator is good and fine and sweet. But, like...
Yeah, no, do not touch...
Sombra.
Blizzard?
Don't touch the translocator?
It's perfectly fine.
I honestly just wish that if you were within, like, say, 7 meters of it, there was a like a faint beeping that you could hear. But, like... other than that...
It's pretty loud. It's pretty loud as is, though.
You can't hear it. It doesn't make any sounds.
It does. It's really loud.
Not when it's
placed.
Like
a humming sound, right?
No.
Yeah, it's definitely loud when it's placed.
I can't ever... I have my game effects all the way up and my music all the way down. I can never hear it.
I'll show you, like, a video. I'll play...
Okay.
It's very long.
Yeah, exactly. She's got that Reaper thing going on.
Super stealthy hero.
She gets the megaphone out.
Seriously though, because you're a Sombra man, I think we should address this now. What do you think should be done? As far as I can tell, the best way to help her is to undo some things that have been done, which is, what Blizzard doesn't like to do, and also what people usually dislike. But, like, if they do that, if they revert her to an older state, or, like, at least change one part of her kid back to an older state, she's going to be a lot worse at pro.
But there's things you can look up for that.
Yeah, so here's what... Okay, first I'm going to say my like, things I'm okay with and things I don't really like with, like, this particular change, just to keep it patch...
Also, keep in mind, guys, we still have to talk about Sigma.
Oh, shit.
I know,
how long have we been going? Oh my god, it's been an hour.
Do we need to talk about roll queue?
Okay,
we already kind of talked about it
here really quick. Everybody likes roll queue, very good. Let's move.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
good.
There we go.
I like it.
Okay, so Sombra, back to the thing. So I'm just going to talk about what I like and what I dislike about this patch, and then I'll get into what I would do to Sombra just to fix all this.
This whole mess
Okay, so
here.
I think the hack duration perfectly fine. Like, hack is pretty quick to recharge, especially in the mid fight, and like especially because like you're going back and forth, you're doing a lot of stuff. So like, to be honest, it's fine. This is fine.
So 5 seconds of hack for an 8-second cooldown.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine for me. I feel like if you're going down to 4 would be a bit cheeky. Like that would be like a little, because you do have to keep in mind that like Sombra doesn't have the most powerful or accurate gun in the entire world. And that's the reason why the hack needs to be kind of long, because she needs to secure that kill.
I just wish they'd make the gun slightly better.
Hold on. No, that's way too. No. Let's not.
No?
Let's not.
Okay.
Let's not
Let's
go
not.
down that path.
Let's not go down that path because you have to realize that like Sombra is a little assassin. Like
Yeah.
she works with going 1v1. She does
Yeah.
not do well in groups.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like her main weakness, and that's because of her gun.
Yep.
And if you are to fix up that gun, then things would happen, and you don't want that.
Okay. I
So
believe you.
that's why I'm kind of like, you know what? I think 5 is perfectly enough because it's enough to secure a kill. Depends on the other person and depends on your skill.
Yeah.
But also isn't too short that it's like you have literally no time. You have to kill this real quick. The one change I'm actually really worried about is the activation time for EMP. And I say
Yeah.
this because you have to think about the tactics used for EMP. And typically, the most old-fashioned, tried-and-true way of doing it is throwing your translocation, do a kamikaze on it. What is the type I call it?
It's greedy, but
you
yeah,
throw-
it works.
Greedy
Yeah,
EMP.
you just throw it, you translocate, you EMP, and you typically die because you're in the middle of the group.
Yeah.
And like I said, Sombra doesn't do well in groups.
And remember,
Having it-
always unstealth before you translocate if you're going to do that.
There you go. He's right, because you're losing airtime when you are teleporting already. So when you're unstealthing, that's even more airtime. You're already on the ground when you're doing, and it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
So you always want to uncloak, throw, EMP.
Yep.
And
Or throw
basically
on
that'll get most people. So anyway, so the worry is that you are already making Sombra is already in a very vulnerable position. Now you're going to make her even more vulnerable. You know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, snowballing effect. One tweak here might cause her to be utterly fucking useless.
I just wish there was a way to, like, figure out, like, a way to counterplay her ability to just come out of nowhere and just remove someone from the fight with her hack.
But that's a part of it, though. That's like what you're sacrificing one person on the main to get that opportunity to gain information. And
Yeah,
also to assassinate targets, which is what makes her good, is the gaining information. So that's why the infinite stealth is so controversial, and also probably the best part. Like, you could, like, if you return her old stealth on the 5-second gold, not even on the original 6 seconds, and, like, you change nothing else about her kit right now, she would just, like, not be played.
No, I agree. So that's why you have to.
But I had that idea where, like, you keep the stealth infinite, but it's like every few seconds, every 5 seconds or so, she like shimmers. So you have to be careful with it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I said that you were an idiot when you originally said that, and I'm starting to warm up to that idea more now.
To be honest, I don't think that would be a great idea because you have to remember that, like, again, Sombra's a very small, squishy hero that really can't deal with big groups. So then, again, you're just making her far more vulnerable.
Well, if you increase her movement speed, though, and you give her the shimmer so she can get out.
Oh, as in recruit.
Like back to 1.75.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But you see, the reason why they changed that is because, like, Sombra was zip zapping far too fast, like from one end of the map to the other far too quickly.
Do it 1.6 then. Let's do that.
Or, and this is the one I would suggest. This was what I was going to suggest.
Yep.
That you put stealth on like a kind of like a Diva's Matrix.
A resource meter, like it was before.
No, it wasn't on. It was never on a resource meter.
Are you drunk?
What?
No, there was a time. There was a timer. I remember it.
There was a timer, but it wasn't a resource meter. It was a timer. You like.
Oh,
like,
right.
A resource meter is a different idea.
Okay,
like,
right. My bad.
So like as in you can come in and out.
Yeah, no,
I prefer that.
I prefer that because I just don't like that
I think
can
that
always
is
be invisible.
Because I feel like
if you do that, that's really smart. Because then you can give her original speed back. You can give her, let's say, 10 seconds of stealth that recharges relatively slowly, so she can like pop. Yeah, over 5. So you just
Blizzard,
like pop in,
you're
like,
welcome.
Get to somewhere, pop out. Yeah, no, like exactly. Blizzard, you're fucking welcome. That's a really good idea, and that would actually make her that would make her better in a lot of ways because she would be quick. She could escape, but she would have a harder time gaining
not
information
miserable to
make her.
fight.
Yeah,
To
she would
me-
not be miserable.
To me, the resource meter idea is probably the most like it kind of fixes all of her issues, if that makes sense. Like
it's
makes
the
her more.
it's the
It
tank
still
on
keeps
E of
her in the
Sombra.
eyes.
Yeah.
It still keeps her in the eyes of the pros, but it's more useful down below in like lower tiers
Yeah.
/ casual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's balance as it should be, as Thanos says.
Exactly. All right. So now that we've talked about everything that isn't Sigma, let's talk about Sigma.
Okay. Here we
Oh
go.
boy.
Extra long
Oh
episode.
boy.
Extra long episode. I have nothing to do today, anyways.
Oh no! Oh no! We forgot someone. We forgot actually you're like a huge person.
What?
Symmetra.
Oh, what about her?
Symmetra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
she's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good now. Cool.
She's gonna. I think she's gonna need like maybe 1 or 2 buffs after this, but like I think she'll be fine. Generally speaking,
She's definitely going to
Yeah.
be solid in the areas where she's good. And
Yeah.
she's going to pose a gigantic threat to a lot of people who think that they sit there comfortably in their bunk. So
Yeah.
that'll be
exactly.
I think only change I can maybe think about with Symmetra, because I think this is a little unfair, is that when you destroy the teleporter, it's not like Sombra's Translocator or Torb's turret, where you get a shorter cooldown.
Yeah.
It's straight up, you have to wait 12 seconds. I think they should maybe lower it.
I think
If you destroy it, it's like 6.
There's that. There's the fact that when you put it down, it's like waiting for the fucking bus stop. And
Magic bus.
yeah. And my third issue was like. My third issue is like. I feel like she should get some sort of bonus shields every time she levels up her beam. Like, even if it's just 25 shields, just so that, like, because I mean, she's kind of meant to snowball with it.
You may want to be careful with that. I think we don't need
Okay.
to decorate her more than she's already decorated.
Remember what I told
Just the
you?
beam is.
I think I said to this in your tweet, because I think you tweeted about
Yeah, I did.
memory server.
Yeah.
Okay, so my worry about that is that with that you'll probably bring her up to like maybe 25 health, which is the same health as. Keep in mind.
Yes.
May
And
have
you
the
do not
second
want
hit.
this.
And you do not want this. You do not want a second May.
May
You do
is
not
already.
want a second smaller May that doesn't like.
That does more
Who
damage.
doesn't take any names. Who causes even more damage.
But I just wish there was a way for her to get in without having to always be pocketed, because it's such a. It's just not a good design, really.
Yes, but Astro, if you play Sim for 70 more hours, you'll understand that you can make it work even a lot of time.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't work in pro play, and that's a big issue.
Yes, this is true. I think that's unfortunate, but I would rather Symmetra be really good all the way through Master than her only be good at pro play like Sombra, or rather she's good everywhere. She's really impressive in all the ranks.
I think
there are just
I think
compromises that you could make that would make her better everywhere. It's just sort of.
The TP is really strong now. Don't underestimate that.
Well, I know that. I just think that there are things that could be done that could make her better everywhere, instead of making her like sort of a solo queue ladder pick, kind of like Doomfist.
I'm
Again,
excited
you
for
could.
her.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I would rather wait and see with how this teleport.
That's
goes.
fair enough. That's fair
before
enough.
I-
We can wait and see.
You know what I mean?
The
Yeah.
TP
Yeah, I'd
shaves
just rather-
off 5 seconds off of respawn. Like,
That's
that's
true.
a lot
Exactly.
of time.
That's true. It halves it.
And it's always going to be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't do
You
anything
have to
about
realize.
It'll be
Like
another
I
hero
said-
for Sombra to count.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yet another.
It'll make it harder to spawn camp too, which is kind of nice. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. So now, moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Brrrr.
Sigma.
Sigma.
Sigma. Oh my god, I
Oh,
love
geez.
him.
The most uncomfortable kit I've seen on a hero ever, but also literally the cool.
No, he's
yeah,
so
it's kind of
cool.
like the rule of cool.
Yeah,
The rule of cool.
he's so cool. His abilities are awesome. Accretion is lit. I kind of wish that it, like, could one-shot Tracer, but I'm much.
I just
Oh,
wish
yeah,
it was
you
100 damage instead of 80, but maybe that's just me.
No, I'm just saying that because I'm missing as Brig being able to actually kill Tracer. Now
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally can't, and it makes me really angry.
I still think that shield bash needs a damage buff, but that's a thing for another day.
Well, now
Um,
that the shield only has 200 health, they could literally revert it and it would be fine. But, like, whatever. Nonetheless, Sigma is out. He's available on the PTR, and he's coming to the live client in less than 4 days. And by the time this gets uploaded, less than 3.
Yay!
Yes.
That's super exciting. He has.
Or actually, it might be 2 because
shield.
It might be actually 2 because I'm gonna have to finish the other episode first.
Other one.
Oh my goodness.
Release that.
BBB special, triple
And then
platinum, golden,
the next
extra
day,
deluxe chocolate.
release this. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Sigma. Projectile barrier shield absorbs damage in a more reasonable way than Diva's defense matrix. Rock that stuns, like Earth Shadow. And really shitty primary fire, but really, really good for a tank.
So, I think...
Can I just... Before...
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, before we go into talking about him as in his kit, can I just, for a moment, talk about his design?
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
Because I actually have one little problem with it. Because I think, like, it suits... it's really, like, striking when you see it. But I noticed something. His silhouette is very, very similar to Farah's.
Yes, but he's a lot smaller, and the animations are completely different.
I know, but like remember, Blizzard has always been very particular about silhouettes, and this is because you need to be easily identify heroes off the bat.
Yeah.
You need to be able.
Yes.
And I think the reason why I bring this up is he does have a little levitate when he casts his ultimate. And I do think he looks very, 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 very similar to Farah. Like, to a point where I actually thought it was Farah when I was, like, looking at games. I was like, wait, when did this team get a Farah? Oh, no, wait, that's Sigma. Never mind. Like, there's
but to be fair, I think they've already kind of broken that rule with Baptiste and Soldier, because whenever I see Baptiste from a distance, I'm like, is that a soldier? Like...
That is
they have
true.
very different stances, though. Baptiste is significantly more slouched forward, and he's always holding his gun up, whereas Soldier literally walks with it like he's hip firing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the difference is that the thing is that they're both like very similar proportions.
That's true, but you can tell the difference. You definitely can. I've never had that problem. And
I have that problem all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I've only ever had that problem with his Talon skin, which is very because it obscures a lot. Like, I see that beautiful face anywhere. You know what I mean?
Jazz wants the back.
Oh,
jeez. Okay.
I can see that beautiful mug anywhere. Where Sigma and Farah has a very similar stance, especially when they're flying, because you have to like. Even if you pull up his concept art and Farah's concept art, it looks so similar. He literally is just a little wider, and that's pretty much.
Okay, but that's fine.
So I would just I would just say, Blizzard, please be careful with your designs.
In the
please
future,
just keep them in mind. Yeah, just keep it in mind. I think this will be fine.
They've always been careful,
just
so
keep it in
yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
just thought I should bring that up.
Design, because you brought that up, and it was smart of you. And you were right to bring it up, because it is important to notice these. But it's something that I like is the fact that he doesn't have foot.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I do too.
Zen gang.
Hashtag. Also, another thing that I like is the fact that the character simply existing and breathing made Twitter go into a firestorm of hate, which I thought was hilarious. Oh, he's so good. He's so wholesome. He's so malevolent. It's amazing.
Well, but that's just it. He's not. It's like...
Well, he doesn't know that he's malevolent, but
he's just like a... He's like... Again, he's a lot like me, right? If I was in a similar situation. I'd just be like, I have no idea where I am, but okay, guys. Let's do this.
Let's get a little bit dark for a second. Have you been institutionalized before?
Me, yes.
Now, were you offended when you saw Sigma's institutionalized?
Actually, no. It was the opposite. So, when it comes to Sigma, as someone who again has been institutionalized, a lot of people's reaction was, "Oh, he's such a bad representation of like what mentally ill people are," and from the perspective of someone who hasn't been institutionalized, I think that's true. But from the perspective of someone who has, you can relate to him so well, like, because I've always admired the way Overwatch has made characters, because they've done it in such a way where it's more important that the people who connect with the character really connect with the character. And so I'm a lot happier having the character be very true to the people who can connect with those experiences, rather than be upset that people who can't don't like it, is basically what I'm saying.
Yes.
Because if you were to ask someone like me, for example, does the way Sigma is the way Sigma portrayed accurate to what it's like, I would say that literally no, but symbolically,
it's the emotion, though.
Symbolically,
it's the
yes.
emotion you feel.
Yeah.
It's very accurate. The way that he has these episodes, and he's and in the ways that in which he's like, he's always like, hold it together, like the way he's kind of like stuck in his head, and he's kind of getting thrown around in his own mind. It's so accurate. It's so accurate.
In a way.
Actually,
sorry,
I was just about to say, I'm so sorry. I will make this point very quick.
It's okay.
If you put Astro in editing, this would be so good to make my point. But like his idle animation is really telling, because when you pick him, and then he's like doing the normal like stoic hero thing,
Yeah.
and then he suddenly like looks to the left, and like it's almost like he's looking at something, and like something's caught his attention.
Yeah.
And he's like suddenly very relaxed, and he almost like has this really playful smile, and like almost in awe of something, and then all of a sudden he like snaps, like realizes what he's doing, and then he goes back to stoicness. And I think like stuff like that is just, it's really telling. You know what I mean? Like it's telling a story through animation,
which
you
is
know exactly
so good.
what type of what's going in the nog.
Yeah, and that's
Which
what Blizzard does so well. Like even
it's like he sees a butterfly. Yeah.
Still, it's like
even Sombra standing still is filled with so much personality.
Yeah.
And Symmetra's reload has more personality, I would say, than like I don't even know, than any character ever in a vast majority of Marvel movies.
And like the fact,
that I know, I'm kidding.
And like the fact that Bastion sort of rattles, right?
Yeah, Bastion rattle.
Yeah.
And he like, have you noticed how sometimes, like, it's only happened to me a few times. He makes like this uncomfortable noise, like when nothing is happening.
Yeah, no, he does. Yep.
Like zwee. Like question mark. Yeah, so all these characters have so much personality and identity, and I think that Sigma, like, as someone who cares profoundly about
an amazing version of that. Yeah,
he's an amazing example of that, of psychology.
I'm going to actually be very controversial. I might be very, very controversial. I don't know. I think maybe people will agree with me, but I think Sigma is the hero that actually has so much personality and so much since Sombra. Because I kind of
the most personality. Yeah, I'd say
yeah.
I'd say that I
haven't been this excited for a hero personality-wise and story-wise since Sombra. And I actually like looked back at like the Sombra reveal at like BlizzCon, and I remember absolutely so excited I was, and like how the crowd was going wild, and I feel like that is exactly what happened with Sigma. And it like brought me back, man. I mean, it brought me back.
I think
When,
I think
when Overwatch was good and golden and
Yeah.
new.
I think the last hero that had me as totally endeared as I am with Sigma was probably Moira.
Oh yeah, she has a very, very good character.
Because honestly, it was I was really happy because this is an unpopular opinion, but I honestly don't really care that much about Ana. I think her story is like, okay, sure, I get it. She has character, but like, it's not something that I particularly connect with in
It
any
appeals
way.
to you.
Yeah, it doesn't really
It
appeal
doesn't
to me at
appeal
all.
to you.
But
That's fair. That's fair.
and then after Ana, we had these 4 characters in a row that I just thought were all so amazing in their character, right? Like, because we got Sombra, who I thought was such an incredible, like, addition to the story, and her like, personality was so fantastic. And then we got Arisa, and obviously Arisa is just such a breath of fresh air.
So cute.
Yeah, such a breath of fresh air.
How can I forget my baby? Oh my god, I'm a bad mother. Oh my god, no, I take it back.
And then, of course, we got Doomfist. And when I remember, I was in Rome when Doomfist came out, and I remember when I got the notification on my phone. I was out because I was at dinner, and I got the notification for a video, new hero now on PTR, Doomfist. And I remember literally not eating for the rest of the night, running up the hotel stairs to the room and just sitting there watching the Doomfist reveal, absolutely going insane. Like, and I specifically remember when I saw his like rocket punch, just laughing my ass off. I probably woke someone up in the next room. Like, I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna play this character. And then we got Moira, and I was like, oh wow, Moira is in many ways sort of just me in a bad mood. So,
Well, she's significantly more in control of everything in reality. Like, she's very meticulous with things and very orderly. And I don't think that you fall on the order side of that spectrum.
No, I don't. But her mindset, right? And her and like just sort of that sort of snarky, like, usually she's at least somewhat personable, but as soon as you get her frustrated, she becomes like this super snarky, super like, I'm almost sort of like just a general like condescending piece of shit, which is a character flaw that I'm willing to admit I have.
Yes.
And so it's like,
she's also very bad at taking criticism.
Yes, I'm not bad at taking criticism, but it's yeah. So,
not implying anything. Nonetheless, we have Sigmund.
But I was kind of more talking about like hype-wise, for the simple fact of like his personality. If that makes sense. Like, it took a while for people to warm up to Moira. It took a while for people to warm up to Orisa, simply because she wasn't Doomfist. By the time Doomfist came, it was finally.
Yeah.
Baptiste really wasn't teased.
Brig.
Ash came out of nowhere, and no one really wanted her. They all wanted Bob. They all wanted Bob.
Then there was Brig, and everyone was just sort of like, "Oh God!" As soon as they saw the kit trailer, the second she came out, everyone just went, "Oh no!"
Dude, I was so hyped for Brig. I was like, "Time to fucking crush this Tracer bit."
I remember so many people were like really hyped when like Brig was announced. Like, they were like, "Oh yeah!" But then like her like kit came out, and they were like, "Oh
no!
Oh no!" Look what they've done.
And then we had Hammond, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Hammond is like the one character or one of the very few characters where I didn't give a shit about the reveal, and then I saw the kit, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's fantastic!"
I feel really bad. But Hammond's that one character I always forget about.
Oh,
I always forget about Hammond.
I just
I always
love
forget
his
about
kit.
his existence.
I just love his kit. It's
And
so
I always
fucking weird.
feel bad. I always feel really bad for forgetting him because I'm like, oh yeah. But like, there's 30 heroes, guys. My brain can
31, yeah.
31 now. There's only so much I can remember.
But yeah, no, I think that Sigma is I think that Sigma is unique, right? Or not unique, but the first time in a while this has happened, where it was the story trailer that really had people like on the edge of their seat for this character.
Oh yeah, everyone went batshit.
Well, of course.
Okay,
it was great.
no puns intended, but everyone lost their minds when
Yeah.
that trailer came out.
I remember,
No pun intended.
literally, when I first watched the trailer, I was just sort of like, I couldn't even like, I had no words, and my comment on the video was just, Jesus Christ, this is insane.
Yes, because it is.
Man.
And it's coming now, very soon. Are you excited?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is gonna sound very, who else would make this comparison other than me, but his reveal trailer almost felt like it could have just been pulled out of Interstellar. Like, if you've seen that movie.
I can see why you would think that.
Yeah.
And I can see why you would
I
associate
do know
with
what
that
it is
type of iconography and, that sentiment of, time and, like, space.
Yeah.
And all the weird oddities and intricacies of it.
Yeah, sort of like the surrealist, cosmic surrealism sort of thing.
Yes.
But, yeah.
I love the whole, like, kind of low-key cosmic horror thing that he's got going on.
Yeah,
I kind of like it.
He's got a sort of, like, almost sort of a H.P. Lovecraft thing going on in a way. It's like...
Yeah, it's a little bit eldritch, but it's not really eldritch. There are no... So...
Yeah, no. But it's...
Yet!
Yes!
we have bare feet, you never know what else!
We have bare feet.
Yeah. I love how that was the thing to trigger people. Like, it's like, oh, just get over yourselves, for fuck's sake. Like, dude, like, people have been
I think the only problem I have...
since day -1.
Yeah.
The only problem I have it with, like, model-wise is because the toes are for some reason longer than they should be.
Oh yeah, everyone freaks out about that, how long his toes are.
It's like, ooh, why do you have long toes?
They are a little off-putting, I will admit.
Isn't he a 6'5" underweight Dutch guy? Obviously his toes are gonna be fucking...
I believe he's 6'3".
I love how you implied that, like,
when he's standing on the ground, I believe he's actually a little shorter than Doomfist.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, isn't he supposed to be the same size as, like, Reinhardt?
Well,
I thought that
he is when he's floating. He is when he's floating.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like 2 feet off the ground. So...
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Zeke, I love how you implied that, like, the Dutch people having weird feet is kind of like the same stereotype as, like, British people having weird teeth.
Well, I mean, of course.
I love how you implied that.
Yeah, I mean, if you wear wooden shoes for, like, 500 years, it's gonna change the picture of your feet. Like, I'm just
man, we're gonna make so many people so angry. I hate this.
I do, but I actually do love that. This is just coming from someone who has dealt with this stereotyping before. I do love that they have a very smart, scientist, intellectual sort of character who's just a big dude. Like, he's
also a
very broad shoulders, very tall.
It's always nice
to have an actual unit.
Yeah.
An actual unit.
Because as much as I, like, understand the stereotype, it always drives me crazy that, like, the smart, like, intellectual characters are always, like, borderline anorexic.
What about Winston, huh?
I mean, he's a gorilla. He's a gorilla. So it's like... there's
Excuse
not
you,
a
don't
lot of body
respect,
type
don't
variation there.
disrespect the first thick scientist, okay?
Yeah, he is the first thick scientist.
Winston walked so Sigma can float, okay?
Okay, sure.
Oh my god.
Sure.
Okay. I like this.
Do we
I
guys
like-
do we want to talk about his actual kit now?
Yeah, no, we do.
I mean, I like briefly name dropped all the abilities, but we can quickly go over it. I don't think there's anything really special,
Well,
except for maybe the ult.
I think that Sigma's kit, it's very interesting, right? Because I said to Ian, probably 2 days before Sigma was revealed. I think this was even before the leak came out. I basically said to him, "Yeah, Ian, we have, there are 3 primary types of tanks, right? There are the main tanks, the off tanks, and the disruptor tanks, and we have a hybrid of the main tanks and the off tank. Sorry, the main tanks and the disruptor tanks, and the disruptor tanks and the off tanks. But we don't have a hybrid of the main tanks and the off tanks." And Ian sort of asked, like, okay, so what would a main off-tank hybrid look like? And I basically just shrugged my shoulders and said, I have no idea. And then
48 hours later.
48 hours later, there's Sigma, and I'm like, oh, well, that's what it would look like. So, no, I think...
Okay, damage, but, like, better damage than what you'd expect from a main tank.
Yeah.
A barrier, but, like, not as powerful as a main tank barrier and significantly more restrictive. But also versatile, like what you would expect from an off tank.
Well, he's
Self-defense
not
abilities,
versatile though. He's
representation.
not versatile. He's really not. He's versatile
The shield is.
as a barrier. Yeah, his barrier is versatile. Nothing else is. Like, and I think that's actually one thing that's going to be an issue for him, because if I'm being honest, I think that Sigma's going to run into sort of an Ashe sort of issue, where it's like, he's not as good of an off-tank as, say,
As other heroes.
Zarya, and he's not as good of a main tank as, say, Orisa. And so, he does a lot of things, but he doesn't do any of them well enough, is sort of my issue with him. I think they're going to have to they're going to have to take 1 or 2 of his abilities and really sort of buff them, I think. Because they're either going to have to buff his I think they're either going to have to buff his shield and his kinetic grasp, or I think they're going to have to buff his primary fire and his rock. I think they're going to have to do one or the other.
I think that the correct path is to buff the E.
The what?
The E. The sun.
Oh,
Because that ability, I think, is what's going
his
to
E
be
is
able to
his E
more
is the rock. His E is the rock.
I'm saying the eat.
Oh, the eat.
The slurp. The nom.
Well, actually, fun fact: people compare it to Defense Matrix, but in terms of the way it works mechanically, it's actually identical to Deflect. Yeah.
So I guess it's like his /eat hybrid.
Yeah,
I think
it's a hybrid of
that
Defense
ability-
Matrix and Deflect.
That ability, because it's his best way to stay alive, is going to be the thing that's going to be the most targeted, I think. Because if he can stay
Yeah.
alive, then all of a sudden he can do more damage, and all of a sudden he can main tank better. So
I would agree with that. I think what they're going to have to do with him is I think they're probably going to have to, one, make it so that he absorbs more of the damage he takes into shields, right? Whether that be up to 50% or even 100%. And I think that they're probably going to have to either make the barrier a little larger, or I think they're going to have to curve it a little bit more, right? Because
you may not want to make it larger, because it only has 1500 health, and it's a significant amount of time to recharge.
I think the big issue with his experimental barrier right now is that it's so easy to off angle. Like, because because it's basically just literally like a 2D plane. It's not bent. It doesn't, curve in any
it's a
way.
skill shot.
Well, it is, but
It's the skill shot barrier.
but the issue is that basically what you end up with is the enemy can just walk to the side a little bit and suddenly they have an angle on you again. And I understand that he can redeploy, but the fact that it's so easy to get around the barrier is honestly going to make it really difficult to use.
Honestly, if I were to fix the barrier, one really easy trick. Do you know the way then you destroy it, then you put it back in?
Yeah.
I would just cut the middleman. I would just be like, here. So like, boom, here's a teleport. Here's a barrier. Boom, here's a barrier. So you just always have a barrier.
Well, but you don't want that though, because it recharges when it's away.
I know, but like I'm saying I would change it, like, because I think it's the middleman that makes it that is, I think, what they probably have to like deal with. Whether or not how they're going to change the charging.
They could just change the controls a little bit, right? Because the way it works now is
you have.
Because the way it works now
realize
is
that's easy to say. Hold on. That's easy enough to say now with like on PC. Very different story game when you have to consider actual controller.
Well, no, because I'm thinking about the controller, right? Because right now what you have to do is you have to hold it down, let go, and then press it again to pull it away, right? I think what you should just have to do is press it, press it, press it. That's because that's honestly faster to do.
There could be a toggle for this.
Wait, what?
Easily.
Really?
Tap, yeah. It would be much easier on console, that's for sure.
But I think we've already kind of talked. I already previewed my opinion before we jumped into this discussion. And I'm going to repeat it again because I think it very solidly sums up my issue. I think all of these abilities are fine in a vacuum on their own, individually, but all together they kind of just don't work in one cohesive unit. They don't work.
He doesn't have a set flow to him.
Which is what you would expect from a character like this.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah.
So I'm just gonna use...
His entire personality is disjoint, just like his... it makes...
Yeah.
I mean, it does make sense in a personality way. You do have to sit down and think to yourself, well, I am making a video game character. Especially in a competitive game, like Overwatch.
Yeah.
You do have to think about these things, you know what I mean? And I just don't think that's the worry I have in terms of balance-wise. I just don't think any of these things go together in a fluid motion.
Well,
nor did they complement to each other.
The rock and the primary fire are very good together. I think those flow together really well. The same goes for...
How so?
Well, because basically what you can do is you can combo them. Because you can actually animation cancel the rock throw. Yeah, the rock throw into the shoot, and you can animation cancel the shoot into the rock throw. And the same goes for his barrier and his kinetic grasp. They flow really well together. Because what you can do is you can place it. You can place the barrier, then you can push ahead of the barrier with the kinetic grasp up, and then when it's over, you can just put up the barrier again, and and then just cycle that over and over and over again. The issue is that essentially he has two abilities that are of one kit and two abilities that are of another kit. And
didn't you just congratulate them on that design, or the idea of half mid tank, half off tank?
Yes,
I did.
What that is. That's exactly what it is, and I think it works.
No, I'm the one who has a bit of an issue with it.
Okay.
I think it works.
And I'll explain myself. In after Astro's little moment. Continue, my child.
I think it works if you can make those two halves of his kit interact well enough. Like, I think if they were to allow some more animation canceling, I feel like it would be fine. But the issue he really has right now with those two halves of the kit is that they essentially can't interact with each other, right? Because he can't kinetic grasp into the rock. He can't, rock into the kinetic grasp. He can't, he can't put the barrier and then, throw the rock because there's too much whatchamacallit, cast time on the rock. It's just, there's it's more the issue of you need to make those specific abilities flow better together, and then I think he'd be fine.
Okay. So, remember when I said Brigida has an issue where Blizzard has designed her to be a close combat hero, but given her absolutely no way of sustaining herself.
Yeah.
And this is the same problem as Reap. He, sometimes is okay, sometimes isn't.
Yeah, same kind of
to a certain extent, reworked. Yeah. When Symmetra was first reworked, she had this exact issue. She's kind of gotten over it, to be honest. But she still kind of sometimes suffers with it, especially because now with the teleporter change where you have to wait a second to teleport.
Well, actually, they changed that. They reverted that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they reverted that.
Okay, so fine. She's fine. So yeah, just old Symmetra. Remember when I also said Sigma suffers from the exact same thing?
Yeah.
And this is because, think about Sigma's health. He only has 400 health, right? Yep. And just gonna look at his Hyperspheres, his little primary spire, which are really cool, by the way. Can I just say I love the bounce?
I like them. Yeah.
That'd be so crazy. That'd be crazy.
None of them have even played them yet, and we just love them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I have no. Like I said, I have no issue with fun factor. I think he's going to be really fun. I just don't know how useful he's going to be for these reasons I'm going to bring. So you have the Hyperspheres. They have that cool little bounce, and to balance the bounce, they had kind of like a range, so they can only go up to 20 meters, which isn't a whole lot far. No. But remember what I just said. He only has about 400 health. He can only go around 20 meters. So that means, okay, he's a close combat hero. Okay. He doesn't really have the health for it. He's a bit too big. But he has that shield, you might think. But no, not really. Because like you said, you can easily go around it. And honestly, it's a bit awkward to deploy, disemploy, employ again, stuff like that. Then you think, okay, kinetic grasp. Not really, because it has a really long cooldown.
And the shields aren't that much.
True, you can get it. The shields aren't that much as well, especially when, you're just having a regular encounter.
Yep.
So, when do you have... So again, I put up the same question as I asked Brig. Where should Sigma stand in terms of helping his team? That's the core...
Yeah.
That's the core issue I keep on finding myself at time and time and time again. And I have no idea... You know what I mean?
So
and that's kind of where I'm coming from.
So basically... Just to answer your question of where I think he should be standing, I think where you're probably going to want to be, or I guess floating as Sigma, is you're going to want to be between, well, depending on what DPS you're running, you're going to want to be between your DPS and your supports, with your DPS in front of you and your supports behind you, or you're
How strange.
Or you're going to want to be directly with your DPS. You're going to literally want to... You're not going to push up in front of them like you would with a Reinhardt or a Orisa. You're going to want to be literally with your DPS. You're going to literally want to run in with them.
Oh, there's another thing as well I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Accretion? Is that it?
Accretion.
The rock throw.
Accretion.
The rock yeet is what I'm going to call it. Rock yeet.
Okay.
Rock yeet? Okay.
Okay, so that gets worse when you are closer to the target. So even though it's really slow and kind of slow to chuck it, it is better to hit targets further away. they get more knockback, and that's kind of the vibe.
Well, I think
So that's another thing.
yeah,
That's another thing to keep in mind.
but I think that's almost sort of a Roadhog primary fire versus Roadhog secondary fire sort of situation, where it's just like it's something to make up for the fact that he can't engage at long range.
But isn't the whole shtick about Roadhog is that like he's meant to up close and personal with people? And that's even why he has the hook, to bring people into him, to say like, haha, you are mine. I am the distraction.
Well, yes.
I am going to kill you.
Well, yes, but think about it.
You know
His
what I mean?
secondary fire. With his secondary fire,
He has a secondary fire?
Yes.
Oh
What?
my god.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh,
No, he
Jazz.
has-
Oh, this
He
is
has
bad.
he has Hyperspheres.
Oh,
he
no,
has-
no,
No, no.
Roadhog.
We're talking about Roadhog.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Sigma. I was like, what?
I was gonna be so surprised for a second. I was gonna say, how you of all people? How?
I
No.
thought we were still on the topic of Sigma. I was holy shit, there was a really big rework already, and he hasn't even released.
But I'm
Oh, geez.
basically what I'm saying is I'm comparing the fact that Roadhog has his secondary fire to make up for the fact that he can't always be in close range, to the fact that accretion being stronger the farther away it is makes up for that same thing with Sigma, because
Sort of.
because
As you would
Even though he can't even get into the front
well yeah
where he's
because,
supposed to be.
because the thing
Like,
with Roadhog is that under 10 meters his secondary fire is pretty much useless, and with Sigma I think it's something like 15 meters where it really starts to get scary.
mhm.
So there's actually more
But that's
overlap.
literally in his range though.
Well, yeah, but when it gets really scary is like 25, 30 meters. That's when it gets really insane. Like, that's when you get like the 3-second knockdown. Like, it's nuts.
Earth Shatter.
It's literally like an earth shatter. If you can yeet that thing like at a Farah, right? Like, she's just gone. She's literally going to fall off the map.
Eliminated.
There literally won't be enough time for her to like get her rockets back up and working before she just falls off the map.
Actually, that's another hero that's like strangely arisen from the ashes as soon as I left. Like Farah, she suddenly really picked up steam.
Reaper as well.
Yeah, Reaper
sort
too.
of, yeah.
I've been keeping track of those numbers. I was like, what? Like the minute I left, like Turby Town took over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like everyone had a hypermania
Just for a
as
brief
soon as I
moment.
left.
Yeah, I think that either way, like, we need to have Sigma be played first before we know. But he's
True.
definitely going to need something.
He's
but I
going
don't
to
think
need
that-
something. But I mean,
I don't think it's going to be big. Unless it's to, the eat. If it's the eat, like,
Yeah.
just fucking full power eat, 100% eat, I don't think anything bad will come of it.
no.
Seriously, like,
I don't think
Wrecking
so.
Ball can go up to 1200 shields and he's significantly faster.
Yeah.
I think that Sigma will be fine at 800.
I think Sigma just is kind of like a mixture between Diva and Wrecking Ball, if that makes sense. I think he needs
In a way.
time to really. He needs time in the relation to Wrecking Ball, because like it took a while for Wrecking Ball to actually pick up steam. And for the Diva comparison, he needs a few careful buffs
Yes.
and slight changes.
Yes.
And I think he'll be perfectly fine. And just sail him out into the river and he'll be grand out. But it is just a bit worrying that, like, like I said, like, even like where he's supposed to be positioned, and like I've been seeing great debates of like if he's a main tank or a secondary tank.
He's a hybrid.
And I think, yeah, but like I've been seeing like
People are still arguing about this, even though the category is becoming a little bit less important.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of like, it's indicative of a bit of a problem. And I think I'm very hopeful though, because I've been noticing that like Blizzard has like really suddenly become like, yep, let's buff this, let's change. during the testing phases for Love Cube, and it's a good sign. It's a good sign.
I mean, and I think the last thing we haven't even talked about yet is his ult.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This thing with all the combo potential of a
Oh my god.
cool and a lot more lethal.
That shit, honestly, but okay, visually great. The music actually dope. I will twerk to that in a club. Love the music.
Oh my god.
The ult combos great. Just the ability on its own great. I love the
It's
ultimate.
perfect,
It's the
yeah.
best.
It
Hands
takes a
down,
long time
best
to
part of his
charge,
kit.
But I'm excited.
Between the fact
down.
that he can lift up from behind shields, and he can lift up a bastion, and he can literally just accretion the bastion out of sentry, I'm just scared shitless about this guy. Like, I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I'm not even gonna pick bastion anymore. Like, I already didn't pick him much, and now I'm just like, I guess I'm just gonna put a piece of tape over that part of the selection screen. Like, he's just not even there. It's
Well, okay, listen,
Bastion?
you can do what I did
Yeah.
when Sim was trashed here. I just didn't play Sim in comp until she eventually got buffed the first. And then I played Sim in comp all the time. And then I stopped because, I discovered...
yeah, I got that. But I mean, it's a different situation from what I'm in.
Well, you can just, fucking send a bunch of cookies to the Blizzard office, all of them shaped like Bastion's head.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and then just be like, please, I only want one thing in the world, for my character to not be garbage.
Yeah.
You send that letter in the magazine cutouts.
Yeah.
For, each letter, you know what I mean?
Just make myself look extra loony. Yeah.
Oh, you know what we could do, Astro? You could do, a cosplay of Sigma. We can get you a nice, a mouth guard so you can't bite yourself. We'll get
I just need to...
orange...
You need to shave my head, though.
I don't want to do that. What we'll do is we'll actually have your hair styled, and then you can just be a
bald cap
/ Sigma... Oh, bald cap. Or no, not even.
Bald cap.
Really good.
You can get that on Amazon.
No, he can keep his hair. I think it'll be a good look. And then, you can be day 1089 of Bastion being trash.
Actually, let me see. Let me check. Days since February 17th, 2017.
You know the time as well.
903 days.
So, day 904 of trash, assuming tomorrow. And then you can just be there in your insane asylum suit, and then we can make a whole sketch where with a bunch of busty nurses, and then we give you your medication, and it's just a bunch of pills with Hanzo written on.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And then I can tell Nurse Mercy to give you the revive, as you're over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll just have your bed sheets will just have Sombra EMP graffiti all over them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, on your gravestone, it would be please
and then Astro goes to the common area, to hang out with the other institutionalized people, and then one of the people there is just a Zarya cosplayer, and then she just flings a little black rocket at, and then you start to cry.
Oh guys, oh my god.
And then Headmistress Olivia would like to see you now, or something, or
oh no,
the head psychiatrist who is just the Sombra voice actor.
Olivia Colomar, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's great. Can I just say?
No, the actress's name is Carolina Ravassa, but Sombra's name is Olivia Colomar.
No.
The voice actress.
That's who I was talking. Yeah,
okay.
I was talking about the voice actress.
So
Sorry.
Carolina Ravassa, yeah.
Can I just say it's really funny that Sigma and black holes and stuff, and for a long time I thought he was going to be connected to Volskaya Industries because of Zara and her weapon. But now it's like infinitely even funnier that like they're not related at all. Because like here's this one guy who like went batshit insane because he played around with this stuff, and then here's Zarya like,
Well,
pussy."
actually,
You pussy.
he has an interaction when he kills Zarya, right? He says he has this interaction when he kills Zarya where he says, "It would seem that the Tobelstein reactor is still flawed. What a shame." So
I think it would have been better if he just said gravity kill.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Gravity kill.
Oh god.
But apparently he knows like everyone. So because remember he's the oldest character in the cast now.
Yeah.
No, that isn't that Anna.
Anna's 61. Sure? Anna's 61. Sigma is 65.
Also, doesn't Sigma not age now?
Sort of. We don't know. It's possible though.
Oh no, he's forever a baby boy in my eyes.
I mean, remember he is bald now. He had hair before.
It's true. True, yeah.
Baby boy who must be protected.
But
I like his fucking horny karaoke.
Yeah. That's what's it called? A tasty straw.
Come taste his Stroopwafel.
Oh god.
Oh,
I really hate like how he sounds like he's getting really close to your mic and be like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he absolutely is. Like, he is just getting super close to the mic. Like,
yeah, for sure.
No, he's.
I feel like Sigma's probably one of those guys that like, the way, some of those people that like don't understand personal space. And,
yeah.
Like, they get really close to you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Just a little too close, and you step back, and they step forward.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
He's that.
Oh, Sigma.
No, it's he's just the fucking funniest thing.
Yeah, like if there's anybody, if there's anybody on the Overwatch cast who gets Me Too'd, it's gonna be him. Like,
No guys, that's why his primary fire is so short.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh, please end this thing.
Sigma
Okay.
Hyperspheres.
well, we've had a very nice conversation.
Wait.
today about
We
a
have
variety of
to do the final comparison between me and Sigma.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Both like science. Check. Both will likely go mad because of it on your part. So check because he went mad and you're definitely. Both.
It's written in the stars.
Word. Yes,
you could say.
in the stars. Literally. In what is Astro. Both. Yeah, very awkward. Both probably really not good at karaoke.
Oh, I'm terrible at it.
I think Astro's a good boy and he understands personal space.
Yeah, he probably does. Being too close to people probably gives Astro anxiety.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that Sigma probably also has anxiety problems when he's an old man.
I mean, as I said in my tweet, Discord Orb just triggers his anxiety. That's literally all it does.
Oh.
I mean, it's Discord Orb. Presumably, what it does is the idea is that it like affects your mind negatively, right? And that's sort of like it's sort of implied in the name. So
I can't remember who. I think this was Overwatch Central, but they were like, "We finally got Zen lore. It's in the cookbook."
Yeah, he's from Nepal.
Guys, slow down. He's from Nepal.
Yes,
I'm like,
he's
oh
from Nepal.
no, this is sad.
He's an Omnic from Nepal. So like, great.
Yay. But
yay! Overwatch 2, guys. Overwatch 2.
But like, he's also just like a big scary looking guy who's not scary, which I like.
Yes, that's true. Well, I guess Sigma can look spooky. I'm assuming that if we made you look like like Hannibal Lecter, you would look very spooky. So.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. And if I was old.
I don't know. Astro kind of looks like a puppy. Like.
Yeah.
You know what I
True.
mean? Like big round, like friendly face, like always permanent grin. You know what I mean? Like nah.
Actually, I have like a really bad
Nah.
case of resting bitch face. It's just that I smile at pictures.
I have seen your
And he
resting
doesn't
bitch.
have. Sigma has this really weird like Shimada brow that I can only say like it's the Shimada brow. I was convinced he
Shimada
was a
eyebrow,
Shimada. Yeah, when the leaks came out, I was like, he's from the clan. He's from the.
He's
No,
a
I
white
was wrong.
Shimada.
Usually,
The brow say it all.
did you see that picture of like where someone like edited his in-game model to be more accurate to his character art? Oh my god, it's terrifying.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was. Oh, I love that guy. What's his name? So I can shout him out. I'm literally on my Twitter right now. Ooh, Christopher.
Christopher?
Christopher.
Excellent.
Oh, it's
Very
loud
good.
window. Sorry, it's loud window. Very good. He always does really great edit.
We like edits.
We love edits.
We love an editing queen. Editor in chief, more like editor in queen.
I thought you were gonna say
That was
something
so
else.
forced.
I thought you were gonna say something else, and I was just like, don't you dare.
Instantly demonetized.
yeah, yeah. We want to avoid that situation to the best of our.
Especially considering I'm considering getting monetized soon, so like, don't do this to me.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh no! I have to watch out my swearing now.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it's
no.
no. Believe me, that's okay.
Profanity is fine. We just have to, like, keep the level of questionable content to a minimum.
Yes.
So basically, we can never show the looking for group tab a picture of it.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Have you ever? Actually, I'm not even quantifying that. Anyone who's played Overwatch knows what I'm talking. That's it from me. I think that now that we've even mentioned that, I think that that's out of my mouth.
Yeah. I think next episode was probably going to be Doomfist. We'll do that. So.
Yes, the big Doom.
I would love
episode.
Genuinely to have an episode about Doomfist, Sombra, and Symmetra because I feel like they're like such controversial heroes right now.
But you have to remember that
for entirely different reasons.
But
granted, Doomfist will probably be taken up a lot, but
yeah.
But you have to remember that if you get people from like those three communities, basically, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have the Symmetra and the Doomfist players yelling at each other, and then the Sombra players and then you're just going to have the Sombra players like basically laughing at both of them.
Get good.
Yeah, just like erasing them both with EMP.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
man.
Poor
True.
Right now,
that
the
is
next
true.
episode, the Doomfist episode, what we should do is each
poor
one of us
fisty
should
boy.
get gameplay. Your poor fisty boy. Right, poor, quote unquote. We should each get
he's a
gameplay of each
millionaire.
of us playing Doomfist, and then as a result of that, we could get background gameplay just for that. It'll be a shorter episode, I'm sure, because we'll only be talking about one specific thing: the character's kit and performance.
Yeah.
And so
Ooh,
we should
that'd be fun.
get some gameplay for that.
Get some B-roll in there. You know what I mean? Like make some.
I've been considering starting to do B-roll. I might actually do it for this episode.
Yes.
Because
I would love that.
Because basically Zach kept telling me, "Oh, you don't want to do B-roll because it will distract from the conversation," and I was like, "Okay, I guess maybe." But
Yeah. But now, I realize that it's a good idea. Jazz, I think you're going to say exactly what I'm going to say, so I'm going to let you say.
For me, it's very so every other Overwatch channel does have it, and for me it's very relaxing, especially when you have when you're just watching it and then you're listening, especially when the hero that they're playing is very connected to the topic of hand. So say if Overwatch Central is talking about Mercy, they're going to have Mercy B-roll, so then you can see exactly what's going on, and especially when they come up with the the receipts and facts and information up on screen, it's so nice and relaxing. It's
the one thing one thing I need to learn how to do right is when you have an overlay over the B-roll, how to blur the B-roll in the background. But other than that,
that is important.
I need to learn how to do it because I'm bad at
was that what you were going to say, Zeke?
I was actually going to say something entirely different, which is that the people who want to only listen to it are just going to only listen to it anyway, so why the hell?
That's true.
That is true.
my previous presumption was I was kind of we need to cut this out.
No, we're not. This will be in. It'll be fine.
I don't think anybody wants to listen to this.
Yes,
I'm
they
just
do.
gonna stop talking now.
Literally everyone wants to listen to this.
No.
Listen,
Zeke, what are you talking about?
back during Toxic Boogaloo, right? The
Yeah.
reason I was always so endeared watching it was because there was gameplay. So, like,
Okay.
yeah, this might work.
So we're gonna gather. Each of us are gonna gather gameplay for Doomfist.
And then
I'm gonna
send it to
gather
me.
gameplay of Doomfist in a different video game, and then you can also use that for a brief segment. You'll see what I mean when you see it.
I
and
know
you'll
what
be
you're
like, "Oh my
talking
God."
about. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Fucking Mortal Kombat. Not
oh, yeah,
Doomfist
dude.
character.
I'll get you a good 40-second clip, just so you can like stick it in somewhere.
Okay.
But
What's his
yeah.
name? Garrus or something?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He brings Doomfist honor. Trust me when I tell you that.
Okay. But yeah. So I think that's all we have to talk about. Anything else, guys?
yeah, that's me for me. I have nothing else to say.
Zach?
No, I'm good. That's been love.
All right. Well, I'm out of things to say, and I need to get back to editing. So I guess that's all for now. Godspeed you all, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.